again, and ready to continue going. I think. Alright, so welcome to the next session. Where we left off was everybody had left Daggerford by will of Lady Morwyn Daggerford. Asked you to come up to Nightstone and assist Lady Nandar with a goblin problem that they had. And in doing so, you came to the town and you found it abandoned by its normal inhabitants and overwhelmed with goblins and a couple wargs. And you guys have since been walking around clearing out the town. And you did, in the inn, come across one Kella. Kella Darkhope is her name. And she was just a bystander. And then you guys left her in the safe care of staying inside and continued around. I think that's pretty much where we're at the moment. You just finished up a fight with the wargs and a couple goblins. Took care of them. Unfortunately, Gregor did fall and was unable to be revived. Eaten by a warg. Later to never be seen again. One thing that I didn't do last time that I figure we can probably do now if you guys wanted is go ahead and describe your characters briefly. So we'll start with Lowell. Whatever features or notable things you want to talk about.
The traveler from the hard northern mountains. Got just a bit of a scruff. Usually wears warmer clothes, but keeps it light as he is a druid.
Alright. What about you, Mac?
Gnomish looking, but with a darker or a grayish complexion to his skin, with a English flat cap and leathers with a cloak thrown over. Got a beard with the goatee or that chin strap like cut out. So I don't know what you call that, but it's got the heavy mustache and the side chops going. He's standing probably just under 3 feet tall.
Nice. Alright, Wabu.
I look like a turtle. I'm not super tall. I forget how tall I initially.
I think you were
said he
small, so pretty
Yeah.
short.
4 feet tall or something. Not a big turtle. Originally from a little north of Mossstone. Turtles are kind of consummate wanderers, claiming that they have no place they call home because they carry their home with them, in their shell.
Alright. Gilda?
Yeah. So I'm kind of more of a goat, half goat than half fawn. I don't know, I've got like the furry kind of stocky legs. I'm not very tall. I'm about 5 foot, give or take a little bit. Pretty pale skin. The horns, I don't know, they're kind of like I guess more like an antler than a goat horn. But they have little silver caps on the ends of them. And I'm trying to think. My character wears like I don't know, like a gray, outfit, kind of a cloak. It's a little drapey, but it has little silver threads through it, so it kind of shimmers a little bit. And that's it, I guess.
Alright. And Owen, you're up.
All right, so character is Owen Hammerhand. He's a human man from the city of Eltergard. Excuse me, the kingdom of Eltergard, the city of Elturel. He's a 30-something bald paladin, adorned in his classic chainmail, and he has a shield with the symbol of Torm, which is the white hand, the white gauntlet, which is the primary deity that he worships, and also has his trusty hammer, Sunforger, with him. And I won't get too much into the backstory. We can kind of reveal that a little bit as we play on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, cool. Well, so now that you guys have just finished this brief little battle with the wargs, you're no longer in combat. What would you like to do?
Just as a refresher from last session, we had spied goblins to the south of those fields, correct? And they were not alerted
Correct.
to our
Yep.
engagement with the warg.
Yep, on the south. So in Nightstone, you guys have been hanging mostly on the north. You did go enter the temple and clear that out. The inn, you cleared that out, and now you've just taken care of a couple over near this farm. To the south, there are a couple more fields that are open with some more buildings, and then just past that, there is another farm that you did spot 2 goblins in. It's in the southeast side, and then on the southwest side, there's a large windmill, and you saw 2 goblins at the base of the windmill as well.
The inn was the building right to the left of where the wargs were that we went in, just
Yep.
to remember.
Yep, just to the left of where you are now, with
To
the
remember
4
where
doorways.
we've cleared out.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. I am going to go ahead and, now that we've dealt with these enemies, I suppose we'll keep on our search, regroup, and continue our stealthy exploration of the town.
All right. Are you attempting to be stealthy, or just generally keeping an eye out?
I would say, yeah, let's go ahead and be stealthy. Would you like me to form a stealth check?
Yeah. I mean,
Or,
if you guys are trying to generally be stealthy, then go ahead and we'll do a group stealth check.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Send. I did not send.
Incredibly stealthy.
All right.
And
so,
I should have rolled that at disadvantage, so I'm going to go ahead and roll another one.
yep. Go ahead.
Take the lower.
All right. Well,
You know what I got?
Still 9.
Oh, okay.
Mac got a 22. Mac keeping you mostly afloat. However, 2 natural ones on that.
Oh.
So as you guys are making your way down past this building here, you do end up calling the attention of one goblin will come around this building here, and then another goblin in a building just to the south of the town square hears you, and then there is another guy over here who he was in the building that you are right next to. He wasn't really paying attention, but now he has heard you, and he is right here, right next to Owen.
Somehow didn't hear fucking fighting wargs.
He wasn't paying attention, but he has heard you. So we'll go ahead and roll initiative for this battle. Let me do. There you go, and you go. Alright, we're missing just Mac.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember how to do this again.
So if you right click on your character on the bottom right, that'll put you in initiative, and then in your menus you can go. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Remember, if the audio is too loud for you guys, you can lower the volume on that. So, all right, Mac, what is your dexterity?
Hold on one sec. It is 15. I get a +2.
Gotcha. All right. So what I'm gonna do is just this. Oops. Okay. Everybody's got initiative. Start top of the round. We have Gilda with Wabu on deck.
Okay, where are these goblins? Sorry, I'm like,
You got one over here. Let me go
Okay.
ahead and. You already looted them, so I'll take the other guys off of there.
okay.
That might help a little bit.
Got one guy right in front of me there. Another guy
Okay.
down here, and that's all I can see.
Yep. And then there is another one over here.
Behind the building?
He's
Is that the field?
he's just to your right, across the
Okay.
little field there.
Okay. Let's see. I've got 45.
Oops.
So if I try to grapple or do any of those other things, those have different rules from an unarmed strike, right?
Yes.
Technically.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So a grapple would be a strength check, you versus them.
Okay.
Your unarmed strike is just a regular attack.
Yeah, you can just say you're making an unarmed strike, but still flavor it up.
Yeah. So
That's what I'm
yeah,
thinking here.
with you just
But-
got to be a little careful because you do have your ram attack. So
Uh-huh.
if you use your ram attack, that's separate from an unarmed strike.
Right.
But if you want your unarmed strike to be a hit with your horns, you can do that.
Yeah, you can still do the flavor it, but just declare it as an unarmed attack.
Right, exactly. Yep.
And each one of the big squares that we're standing in, that's 5 feet.
Yep. So there's like a big square and then a little square. The little square, which is about the size of your token, those
Yeah.
are the ones you want to look at. Those are 5 feet.
Right,
You go
okay.
ahead and ignore the big squares.
5. Hmm.
Yeah, the bigger for just like tracking overland big travel.
Okay, so I have 45 feet of movement. So I think this guy across the field, I think that's the extent of my movement. So I am going to,
So you're talking about the guy to your right over here?
yes,
5,
That guy.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It would take you 40 feet to get there. So you would have 5 more extra feet
okay.
if you wanted it.
So I'm going to use an unarmed strike with him.
Okay. Go ahead and
I'm gonna-
move your guy over next to him, and then
So I'm gonna make a mad dash, and I'm going to make an unarmed strike, but at his legs and try and take his legs out from underneath him.
Okay, so you're trying to do a tripping attack.
Okay, it can't just be an unarmed strike.
So an unarmed strike is basically just like a punch or a kick, right? Flavoring it up with an extra thing like trying to trip them, it kind of
Well,
adds
I'm not
another.
tripping him. I'm like diving at his feet.
Okay, so you won't necessarily trip him. You're just going for an attack.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, go ahead and roll your attack.
Why is it not giving me this? Don't I have to click on the action and then do it that way? Right?
Yes, make sure all your other actions are closed before you open that action, though.
Yep.
And then there should just be an attack action.
Yes. Okay.
And 19, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Heck yes. Let's see.
Six damage. All right. So you slide into this guy and hit his legs, and that takes quite a bit out of him, actually. He is looking really, really rough.
Okay. So I'm going to use my bonus action. For another unarmed strike.
Okay. Go ahead and
If-
roll. Yep, you can do that.
Yeah. And
An 11 unfortunately does not hit.
dang. And
And this is where, as a monk, if you wanted, you could spend a key point and do an extra bonus unarmed strike. That's how that the key strike works.
yeah,
But that's
I
only if
will
you
not.
want to. So
do that. I'm gonna end my turn.
okay, go ahead. And that brings us to Wabu with Lowell on deck.
All right. Are we pretending those dead wargs are not there?
Yeah, we'll say they're not there, and if
Okay.
they are there, they're easy enough to see over and or get around. They don't cause any interference.
All right. That's my main concern. I'm going to let's see. Move over to here, and I'm going to launch. I'm gonna attack this guy down here by Owen.
All right,
I hit him with the Eldritch Blast.
do it.
I always forget which button's which.
Nat
Ooh.
20. Nice. Okay, yeah, you
Nice.
definitely hit him. Go ahead and
I
Alright.
think that's the
roll
I think
crit
that's the
damage.
first player nat 20.
that
Yeah.
that might be, yeah.
Do it.
Oh, that goblin's dead as fuck.
20.
Nice roll.
Yeah.
Do a great that motherfucker.
Go ahead and tell me how that happens.
Well, for some reason, this Eldritch Blast just like Super Saiyaned itself, and as it left my hands, it flew past Owen into the goblin, who evaporated in a not so clean spray of blood. Sorry, Owen.
Well, then he is just gone. Gone.
And
Alright.
you
Jeez,
know
that
what?
was
I'll
a
wrap
9
it
and,
up on that.
and on the d10s. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good roll.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, I'll take that.
All right. So with that, Lowell, you're up with Owen
Turtle time.
on deck.
Move over to get line of sight on the other one.
All right.
Produce a small dart of flame from my focus and launch a produce flame at it.
Okay, go ahead. 24 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Got some good bonuses on that, by the way.
Goblins don't stand a chance.
5. Yep, you hit him, and then it just starts burning his skin to a crisp. He starts screaming, and then he drops dead. He is done. I think you probably still have about 10 more feet of movement if you wanted it.
Got one more. I'll just go there.
Sure.
There's the button.
Alright, brings us to Owen with Mac on deck.
Alright, so as I see things, we were trying to be stealthy. We were unsuccessful, and Goblin popped out of the door right next to me to be just immediately obliterated by Wabu and covered me in blood. And well, taken aback and just say, "Hello there." With that, I turn my sights on the last goblin, but it looks like he's a pretty good distance away.
Yeah, looks like
So
he's
I'm gonna
just out of your range.
actually, what I'm gonna do, double check here with my feature. Disregard. I was hoping maybe my Peerless Athlete would increase my distance, but it doesn't.
So you can dash as an action to get to him, and then if you have something that you can use as a bonus action, you can always do that.
No, I'll just take off
All right.
towards him.
Sounds good.
Take off running, so go ahead and I believe that was spot there. And that will conclude my turn.
Okay. That brings us to Mac. And back to the top of the round.
All right. Let's see. Let me double check here. I'm gonna try and get an angle to take a shot at that goblin. Make my way down to here,
All right.
and I will make a aim my little modified crossbow that has some weird steampunk-looking contraption and shoot a firebolt out of it.
Excellent.
Where'd my thing go? Sorry, I'm so used to
No, you're good.
using D&D Beyond.
There's learning curves all abound with this. So
Okay,
firebolt. Oh yeah.
it's it.
A
Why is
ranged
it not
spell
going?
attack.
Ah, there it is. It's hidden behind my window.
15 just hits.
Right. Woo!
You fire your crossbow, and sticks in the goblin's shoulders. Looks like it burns a little bit, but overall, no more worse for the wear.
Alrighty, that'll be my turn.
All right. Well, that'll bring us to the goblin, who sees Owen standing right in front of him, just watched one of his friends get evaporated, and gets a little bit scared, so is gonna kind of take a couple steps back, and then is gonna look at Owen and go ahead and fire a crossbolt, or sorry, a short bow, an arrow out of a short bow. And we're gonna do this as a public roll, and that is gonna miss.
Yeah.
And so, as a, you know what? Let me just see this real quick. I gotta, dang. All right. Well, that's gonna go ahead and finish the goblin's turn. So that will bring us to the top of the round with Gilda with Wabu on deck.
Hmm. Um. I am. Let's see. Oh, I've got a lot of distance. I am just going. Let's see. I am just going to move around the back of this house. And I think I can get about here.
All right.
I think is that 45 feet or 40?
I don't remember exactly where you started, but call it
think it's
within
about
5
there.
plus or minus
Yeah.
5 feet. So yeah.
And that's it. Gonna end my turn.
Okay, and then that'll bring us to Wabu with Lowell on deck.
Oops. Trying to see what my ranges are on these things.
I think 60 feet is your Eldritch Blast.
It's 120.
It is 120. Okay, so you can definitely
Jesus.
yeah, definitely hit there.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just gonna go with that again.
All right.
Fire Eldritch Blast.
It is the Warlock special.
It is. I mean, it's good. Can't really complain about it.
Oh my goodness, what am I doing here?
18.
Yep. Sorry. Yeah, 18 definitely hits. Sorry, I got real mixed up with all the screens and stuff.
Oh, when I minimize my chat log, it zooms me back up to the top when I reopen it.
Oh.
Me too.
Same for me.
Oh my God. Yeah, go ahead and describe that one.
Finish him off.
It's the same thing. For some reason, as I'm charging it up, it gets extra bright. And I release it, and it goes faster, and it's bigger than, a typical Eldritch Blast.
All right.
This one does not quite vaporize him. It hits him square in the chest, so his head goes landing on the ground.
All right. And with that, you definitely kill. Uh-oh.
None for me, I suppose.
You kill that guy, and that will end our combat.
Sorry, Owen.
All right.
Two
I
times.
go ahead and try to slide some of the excess blood off of my pauldrons.
Yeah.
Maybe pick up the back of my my cloak and dab some of the goblin blood off of my face.
Gotcha. All right.
I'll run up and grimace at the sight and help clean you off with prestidigitation and just magic
Oh,
some
that's
gore away.
Nice.
Let's get some of that cleaned off.
what
yeah.
color is
Ugh.
the goblin blood?
Oh,
It's
that's,
very very dark, like almost a black oily looking texture.
Hmm.
I'm also gonna run over here. Like, wait, black looks good on him.
Much obliged, sir.
Yeah, that's oh, you've got some brain behind your ear.
Hmm.
All right. Well, it's back to you guys. What would you like to continue doing?
Wait, wasn't there another goblin? I didn't see over on this side.
No, they got evaporated real quick with those eldritch blasts.
Oh no, I was saying to ass and my character's accounting to like, wait, I thought there were two on this side.
Yeah.
Oh, so the ones that you saw previously were further south and were the
I was
ones.
just asking them to recount
In
the
game.
obliteration.
Oh, sorry.
The
In game.
Yep.
the power turtle just blasted them to smithereens, bloody smithereens.
I really don't know what happened. Like it felt right.
It was incredible.
I guess that's that black liquid crater then.
That's one.
That'd be it.
The head over here on the ground is was the other one.
I'm not even gonna try and search the bodies.
You don't think he kept any gold on his teeth?
Eh,
I think the gold might be atomized.
Sorry. I'll
Not
tone it down
salvageable.
next time. Well, where you guys want to
Alright.
go next? You
yeah,
wanna
I was just
check all
gonna
these.
say.
Check all these buildings.
We can keep going building by building. We had one goblin come out of the one right here. Make sure there's not another waiting.
I'll go in with you.
All right. So you go in. This is very clearly a stable house. The bottom floor being the barn part, and you can see there's an upper floor that is a hay loft filled with haystacks and sacks of oats and stuff like that. As you look around, you don't really see a whole lot that looks like it could be in the way of treasure. You do happen to see a box that looks like it was from the goblin that came out of here, and the box is just kind of laying on the ground.
Okay.
Go down and investigate and open the box.
All right.
What's in the box?
Sorry, was that in this building here?
Yes, yeah, the one that everybody's next to. So you open the box, and inside are 10 silvered darts.
Hmm.
Those are some fancy darts. You don't think they played with them, do you?
I don't believe so.
Or someone from the town was an adept at this at the tavern.
Like throwing darts?
Yep.
Okay.
Weapon darts or
Yeah, they're 10 silvered weapon darts.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna let it ride because my guy's not that smart.
Those are typically hand-thrown weapons. I believe our hand-to-hand combat friend over there could probably make use of them.
perhaps curious why he had silvered.
As am I.
continue on.
So while those guys are up there checking out that building up there, I'm gonna keep kind of poking around, looking for maybe some more goblins, since I missed out on my last engagement.
All right.
All the gore, none of the fun.
Gotcha.
Welcome to my life.
So the buildings that you were just next to, the one on the right there, you saw that the door was kind of knocked off its hinge, and you looked inside, and wasn't really anything of value in there.
You're talking this one here?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go up and inspect this building down here,
Okay.
adjacent to this field.
You do recall that just on the south side of that building is a field that you happen to see a couple goblins in.
Okay. So, can I... Yeah. I'll go ahead and make my way around the building.
Okay. Are you sneaking up on them, or?
Nope. At this point, I'm done with the sneaky bullshit. Just looking for some goblins to fuck up.
All right.
Want some action?
All right, so I'm seeing a couple goblins, and I'm gonna go ahead and shout back to the party and say, "Over here!"
All right.
Sorry,
They haven't seen you
Get
quite
their
yet.
attention.
Did you guys hear that?
Wait for me.
Coming.
Hold my position. I spy a few goblins. There's some across the way next to the windmill, and some down here in this field. What say you to a little divide and conquer?
I'm not very good at math.
I'm just gonna start heading over towards the windmill.
All right.
So
go
I have
ahead.
my sights set on this guy here, and I'm going to approach him. Oh, and it looks like I've got another goblin in my sights, and
Okay. Are you guys in the back keeping close behind these two running up there, or are you hanging back a little bit?
I guess I will kind of stick with Owen.
I'm gonna
Okay.
try and keep like distance a little bit back, probably like this kind of split for now.
Gotcha. And
I
Wabu?
haven't really caught on that the goblins are right around the corner, so I'm kind
Alright.
of lollygagging.
Well,
I'm definitely going to be trying to sneak and follow, or sneaking and following Owen. So hopefully, if anyone starts
Yeah.
fighting him, they don't notice me.
yeah, go ahead and roll me a stealth check for that. All right. I'll say for the purposes of this, you do remain hidden, and now that we are entering combat, because you guys have gotten close enough, I'll say because the goblins haven't seen you, you can go ahead and take a surprise attack. So we'll do our surprise round real quick, and you get an attack on one of the two goblins nearest to you. So go ahead.
Suppose I will make an attack on. Oh, there, that guy there.
Okay. And this attack is only if you want to. If you want to try and remain hidden, you can continue to try and remain hidden. But that's up to you.
No, if I think, I mean, Owen's made it clear he's not hiding or stopping, so
Gotcha.
I'm just gonna try and get a surprise shot off around him before he gets to him.
All right.
And this will be a crossbow attack. Because this is a sneak attack, would this be at advantage? Or because it's a surprise attack?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you advantage on that. All right, yep, 19 hits.
Thank God.
Go ahead and roll damage on that.
Finally, a decent hit.
It's your turn to shine, man.
And this will be my sneak attack, so I'll get an extra d6.
All right, just 1 second. All right, 9 damage. Yep, you were shooting this guy here, right?
Yeah, so I just snuck around the corner, or ran around the corner and happened to see him around Owen and just popped off a shot.
All right, well, so as you round the corner, you see these two goblins. They had just turned and looked and saw Owen, and they had just started to pull out their scimitars when you let loose your crossbow bolt and hit Flick right between the eyes, and he is gone, dead, drops harder than a sack of potatoes. And then with
Bloody
that,
hell, I got him!
with that, we'll go ahead and everybody can roll initiative.
God damn it.
Come on, Mac.
Ooh, a nat 20.
There we go.
Very nice.
You don't say that when you roll a 2 for the attack roll.
Yep.
Let me roll.
Can you click on the dice in your combat encounters?
I'm
There it
trying.
is. All right. So with that, you got your surprise attack, and you were quick enough that you were able to go ahead and get another turn. Mac, you are up again with Gilda on deck.
Oh, crap. Okay. I will... Let's see. Oh, crap. 5. How big are these rocks that are in the ground?
About 3 feet in diameter.
So sticking up out there...
They're about 1.5 to 2 feet sticking out of the ground. They definitely hit pretty hard, but yeah, they're sticking out a little bit.
Okay, but if I kneel, I mean, I'm only under 3 feet tall, so it'd be half cover, right?
Yeah, if you go behind one of those boulders, I'll give you half cover for that.
Right. I will head over here, but I'm going to make another attack on that guy there.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to make I'll aim my little modified crossbow and make another cantrip attack.
Sounds good. Uh, 14. I believe just misses.
Oh. Then I will end my turn there.
All right. So you take your shot, and it whizzes right by his head, and it turns and looks at you like, ah!
Blashed.
And then that will end your turn. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I forgot to begin combat. Alright, so Mac is done. Gilda, you are up with Wabu on deck.
Hey. Let's see. Okay. So I think I can do this, but I'm not sure.
Alright.
So, with my dancing short sword.
Yep, yep. Your sword.
So it says when I use the command word, it will hover
Yep.
and kind of fly. So I can make it fly 30 feet and then use a bonus action and make it attack another creature within 30 feet of the first, I think. Does that...
Yeah. So you can use a bonus action for you to make the sword fly, and then you can command it to fly to up to 30 feet away from you and attack one of your targets.
But it will attack a second one, right? After the first?
Or actually, hold on one second. Let me. So for this bonus action, well, this is kind of weird the way they say it, huh?
Yeah, that's why I was confused. But it says attacks for the fourth time,
So
then it returns to my hand.
Yeah, so the fourth time it would make an attack, it will come back to your hand, and you would have to use another bonus action to make it fly out again. You know what? Since I don't get it that well, we'll just say you use a bonus action, it flies out, you can make it go 30 feet and attack somebody that you want within 30 feet of you. We'll say that can happen on this turn, because you kind of you pull it out and fling it, and as you speak the word, it flies to where you want. So
Okay.
that could happen this turn, we'll say.
Okay. So I'm gonna fling my sword out, and it kind of starts to hover, and then I just say dance, and then it's gonna attack this guy.
Okay, yeah, he is within 30 feet, so go ahead and roll an attack on that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that is not gonna hit.
So can it, as another, I don't understand this sword exactly, but I think
So-
I can make it attack
So
the
you
next
can't, you
next
can't
one.
do another thing this turn. So when it says as a bonus action, that's as your bonus action. You just used your bonus action to pull it out and make it attack that one guy. So the sword is done for this turn. Your next turn, you can use a bonus action to make it fly another 30 feet and attack another thing within 30 feet of you. Does that make
So
sense?
until my next until my next turn, it just hovers.
Until your next
apparently.
turn, it can't do anything, and it's just hovering next to that goblin.
So
That's
do I
pretty good at
get?
dancing?
Or dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you still have your movement, or I'm assuming you haven't moved yet, right?
No.
Yeah. So
Wait. So do I also get it in action?
yeah,
Sorry.
you still get your movement and your action. You used your bonus action to pull the sword out.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then I am just gonna run over and try to ram this goblin.
Okay, go for a ramming attack.
Okay.
I'll
One
just go ahead.
second.
Whoops. Go ahead and just move you real
Ram.
quick.
But I think this is the first time we've seen this on this map, or these style of maps, the elevation change.
Yeah, so she has
yeah.
45 feet of movement, so it's definitely not an issue. She was only 25 feet away, so
Right.
adding the 5 and 10 foot elevations, she can easily get up there. So
That would take her to 45, right, to get there?
I would say so because it was 25 feet, you add 5 feet to go up, and then another 5 feet because it's not plus 5 and then
Okay.
plus another 10. It's plus 5 and then plus 10 total. So it would have been 35 feet of movement to get to where she's at now. All right, 18 will definitely hit. Go ahead and roll
Heck
damage on
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Five. Do they get pushed back at all when you attack? I forget on the ram.
It doesn't say so, but
Okay.
I mean,
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Yep. It's just a regular unarmed strike. Okay. So you go ahead and you ram into this. As you do, you smash them, and they get hit and fall backwards into, or get smashed back into this windmill right into the wall, and it looks like that hurt quite a bit. This goblin is looking a little rough.
That will end my turn, I think.
Okay. So that brings us. You can go ahead and end your turn. That brings us to Wabu with Lowell on deck. So, Wabu there. Is Wabu muted? Oh, whoops.
There we go.
Oh, that was my bad. I didn't realize I exited that. I was like,
It's all good.
is he muted? What's going on?
I was muted. I forgot
Alright.
I had my mic flipped up. Alright. But I'm targeting this goblin over here with another Eldritch Blast.
Oh
Alright.
yeah.
Not gonna let you get anything, Owen.
I suppose you can have it.
Sorry. Kind of messed up the stream. Alright, so you got 14, just misses.
Oh shoot. That's it.
Okay. So with that, brings us to Lowell with Owen on deck.
Down here and once again produce a flame of dart to try and finish off the goblin that Gildar I smacked.
Alright, go for it. An 18 will hit. With 7 damage, you hit that goblin with a ball of flame, and it hits him just right and starts smoldering on his chest, and he falls down dead.
Yeah, shall end my turn.
Alright, so that'll bring us to the turn of the goblins. Alright, so we're going to start with this goblin that's nearest Owen. He sees what's happening, is going to run over here, kind of hide behind this rock, and is going to go ahead and take a shot at you, Owen. With his short bow. I'm assuming an 8 will not hit.
It does not get an EC of 18.
Alright. So that is all he will do. And then next. So as this battle rages on, you can see just across the field there's another watchtower. And a couple goblins will come screaming out of there, hooting and hollering, ready for battle. They'll both come out here. This first one kind of hides behind this rock. He's also, because you're the first one he can see, he's going to shoot at you as well, Owen. with a 19. And that will hit. So he hits you for 7 piercing damage. And this other goblin that came out with him is going to go ahead and shoot at you, Mac. You're the next closest one that he can see. It'll be a 22 to hit.
Definitely misses.
I believe that. And he hits you for 3 piercing damage. And then we got this last goblin over here who kind of sees his friend who he's just playing with get wrecked. Come on, get over there. There we go. He's gonna run up to Gilda. He saw you just ram his friend. And he's real mad. He starts screaming, "Ah!" and pulls out his sword, charges at you, and slashes at you with his scimitar. For a 15.
Misses.
And he swings at you, but you see him coming and you just kind of step out of the way. No pain. So he is going to go ahead and take a bonus action and use the disengage action. And he's like, ah! He swings at you. You easily sidestepped him. He gets really scared and he's like, ah! And he runs away. And because you use disengage, you do not get an attack of opportunity. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So that'll end his turn. So that brings us to Owen with Mac on deck.
Yes. All right. So just to clarify, is standard jumping distance 5 or 10 feet?
Ooh.
Can't remember.
Is it different for running or standing?
Yeah, it is. I want to say standard. I could have this wrong, and if somebody knows better than me without me looking it up, tell me. Standing jumping distance is 10 feet. Running jumping distance, if you get at least 10 feet of run up, you can jump up to your strength above your jumping distance, something like that.
All right. Why don't we just do this? So I'm gonna run up to this here fence, and I would like to vault the fence, but I'm gonna use a yeah. Channel Divinity Peerless Athlete, which is a bonus action, so I'll use that for a bonus action.
Okay.
Yeah, if I could vault this and try to land an attack on this here goblin
Go ahead.
with my hammer.
Yep.
Would you like me to roll for an athletic check or?
It's a pretty short fence, and with your athletic ability, you could easily vault over it. So, you go ahead and move next to him, and go ahead and roll me an attack. He did have half cover, but you ran up to him, and he does not get half cover from your melee attack. So.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and.
23 definitely hits.
And damage.
Big money, big money.
All right, 11. With that, tell me how he disappears.
All right, so just gonna vault over that fence, run up, and have a nice big arcing hammer blow to his shoulder, and say, "Not so fast, you rapscallion!" And his entire I guess, right side of his torso just completely crumples under the weight of Sunforger the Hammer.
All right. And with that, he and collapses, dead.
And that will be the turn.
All right. So with that, I just looked up the rule. When you're making a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump. When making a standing long jump, you can only leap half that distance. Yeah, so that's basically that. So as long as you get 10 feet of movement, you can jump up to your strength. If it's a standing one, you jump half your strength. So you easily could have done that. So.
Significant.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially with the
your
peerless
strength.
athlete, which should double the distance.
Yeah. All
Right,
right,
you can just straight up be a Diablo 2 barbarian.
Yeah.
with the leap attack, leaping across chasms. Excellent. All right, so that'll end your turn. That brings us to Mac with Gilda on deck.
All right. I guess immediately after getting hit, I just return fire at the goblin who shot me. I believe it was this guy.
I think it was a lower goblin.
Yeah, that guy.
Yep, go ahead.
But yeah, I'll just return fire immediately.
Sounds good.
With a cantrip attack. Specifically firebolt again.
That misses.
Great. And I will also shamefully duck behind the rock over on this side now.
All right.
Ah, bloody hell! And yeah, end my turn there.
Sounds good. That brings us to Gilda with Wabu on deck.
Okay, so I'm going to use my bonus action and tell my sword to dance again. Dance!
All right.
At this guy.
Okay. I'm assuming
that
you're
guy.
talking about the guy right next to you.
Yeah.
Did you change the shape of your thing?
No.
Oh, that's weird. It looked like
I mean, maybe I did, but it was not on purpose.
it looked like a heart.
Ooh.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and roll an attack for your sword.
Okay. Just a second. I really am trying.
Yeah, it's all right. No rush.
There we
Excuse
go.
me. 20 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage. 8. So as your sword flies over to this goblin who slashed at you and then got scared because you easily dodged it and then ran away, your sword immediately retaliates and comes over, swings and slices this goblin right down the middle and takes him out. That goblin is dead.
Is there a bunch of blood gushing like the other goblin before?
Most likely it would have splurted up, yep, and probably smeared across the side of that windmill just a little bit.
So I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna pluck my sword out of thin air, and then I'm gonna run my finger on the edge with the goblin blood, and then I'm gonna put 2 stripes on my cheek.
All right.
The war paint.
That's right.
That's some hardcore war paint right there.
And that'll end my turn.
Okay. You do still have your movement and your action if there's anything that you wanted to do with that. I don't know what actions you have. I don't know. I don't think you have anything ranged necessarily, but you can move still if you want.
I will. I'm gonna turn around with my fresh war paint, say, Who's next? And I'm gonna make my way
I duck
to
lower.
here.
All right. Go ahead and roll me an intimidation check.
Intimidation. What do I roll for that?
Intimidation. It's on your character sheet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just want to see if the goblins were a little terrified of you as you shouted that.
Nope.
No, they weren't. They looked at you and like they just kind of laughed and be like, "Ha, loser."
The goat lady.
All right. All right.
So bad.
With that, Wabu, you're up with a level on deck.
All right. I can't really see that well, so I'm gonna step forward a few steps. And how tall is that fence?
It's probably only 3.5 feet tall. Wasn't meant to
Only
hold
4 feet
anything
tall.
big. Yeah. I mean, you can easily see through it as well. So.
All right. All right. I think I'm gonna take aim at the lower goblin.
All right.
And guess what I'm doing?
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Go for it. Oh, that'll hit.
For
8 damage. But with that, you hit him. Oh, excuse me. It blasts him, and he collapses in a pile of screaming goblin, and he's dead.
poor guy. That's it though. That's all I wanted to do.
All right, that brings us to Lowell with the goblin on deck, and then Owen after that.
Try to figure out the distance.
Yeah, yeah.
Got enough. We'll just head down and closer down by this rock and stand by.
All right.
So I can't get in range.
So with that, that'll bring us to the goblin.
So my cantrip's not 120 feet.
This goblin, he saw this weird goat lady running at him with something on his face. Looked like dirt. He kind of laughed, so he's gonna kind of dart around here and then go ahead right here and take a short bow shot at you, Gilda. And that is going to be an 8, which will miss.
Mm-hmm.
One second, Wabu. I'll get to you in a second. So that misses. So he's gonna. That's gonna end his turn right there. So with that, that brings us to Owen with Mac on deck.
All right. So I saw the goblin kind of head around the corner there. So we go ahead and head down. 15, 20, 25. Hop around the corner and for a standard melee attack.
Okay.
Peekaboo. So pop around the corner.
22 definitely hits.
Swing for his face.
For 7. With that, you smash him, you hit him with the hammer, and you bash him against the side of the wall, and he collapses in a pile of goblin, not even screaming this time, and he is dead.
Outstanding.
Alright. So that ends that combat. Yes, we'll do that. Okay. Okay, yep. So, you guys have ended that battle. You've finished off the few goblins you knew that were down here, and a couple more happened to pop out that you didn't know. And for the purposes of this, I'll say you feel fairly confident that you have cleared out the town and that there are no more enemies left in town. You've gone door to door and made sure that no goblins hide in any buildings left. So.
Have we encountered any other NPCs in our searching other than Miss Hella Darkhope?
You have not come across any other people. So as far as you know, the only people left in the town are you and Kella and her little flying snake pet. And that's it.
Assuming none of the other buildings had anything of note, just random mishmash of common items.
Let me
Or just, you know, normal people stuff.
Yeah, I give me 1 second on that because I think so you do in your looting you do find and whoever wants to take this you can. There is a locket worth 25 gold pieces, but it looks like there's a picture of a rosy cheeked male halfling. You assume it belongs to probably one of the inhabitants of the town. So somebody can take that, and then I'll say everybody. I'm assuming you probably would have split the money relatively straight across, so everybody can take about 5 gold pieces overall, and then. Whoa, what are you doing there, Wabu?
I don't know. What did I do?
You're clicking on your staff of power. That's fine. I'll just delete those for you.
I did. Wasn't even it. It didn't show up in my chat log.
Oh, yeah, that's weird. It showed up just like 35 seconds ago. Okay, so I don't know who grabbed the locket, but in one of the
Ooh,
cottage.
it's shiny. I'm gonna take your locket.
Okay, go ahead.
Where do I put that? Sorry.
I don't know if there's an item for that, so you can
I'll just remember that I have it. Okay.
You can just write it in your notes or whatever.
Okay.
There is one house. Which one is it? All right, so this house over here. Can you guys all see that?
Yep.
It's on the east side.
Yep.
Yep.
No. What house? Oh yeah. Okay.
So in there you do find a, or the door happens to be locked. If anybody would like to try and go in, you can.
I can try and give that a pick.
All right, go ahead
Any
and.
windows?
We
Yeah.
can also just declare ourselves first in case it's someone barricaded.
Yep, you shout to the door that you're friendly and coming in. No response.
All right.
So, Mac, you're going for the door. Wabu, you said you were going to try and find a window?
I was just gonna look, but yeah.
Okay. You look in the window, and it looks relatively neat. You can tell that the goblins haven't been able to get in there and mess things up. So, and with that, Mac, you can go ahead and roll me a dexterity check. Or ability check. So you go up to the door and you try, and for some reason you just can't figure out how to get through the door.
Damn it.
Can I hit the window with my staff?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a strength check on that. Should be relatively easy because it's glass. I said relatively easy, but barely
We're
made
going straight at least into half of murder hobos.
it. I'll say with your staff, you are able to break the glass.
Hey guys, we can get in over here. Well, someone taller.
You know, that was highly unnecessary.
Pushed me.
Unnecessary. I'm gonna bend over and you can step on my shell.
Perfect.
All
I'm
right.
going for it.
All right. So you make sure you clear out some of the glass before you actually go through, so you don't cut yourself. And then you go in, and on the inside of this little cottage, you happen to find an unlocked wooden chest containing a golden holy symbol of Asmodeus, worth 75 gold pieces, a healer's kit, and a potion of healing.
Before I went through that, I would have opened the door and let them in.
Okay, yep, sounds good. Yeah, so you unlock the door from the inside. Everybody can now get in easily, and those are the things that you find. So, like the holy symbol of Asmodeus, a healer's kit, and the potion of healing. So, whoever wants to take those can.
Can I do a religion check on the holy symbol of Asmodeus to see if there's anything special about it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Any like magical
Yep.
power, I guess, to it.
Yep, go ahead and roll a religion check. A natural
That's 20.
20. So, as you investigate this, you or religiously investigate it, we'll say, because you recognize it to be a holy symbol. I'll say with that roll, you also are kind of investigating it in general. You don't really feel like there's anything magical associated with this. However, you do recognize this as Asmodeus, and with that, you recall from the stories of your father when they went to the Nine Hells that this symbol was the prominent symbol down there, and you remember the stories that he used to tell you of the things that he learned while he was down there, and you recognize Asmodeus as the Lord of the Nine Hells.
Okay. So, I am interested in the symbol, and I would like to take possession of it. So I'm going to, kind of say to the group,
I'm currently
This,
fighting it to test its quality for gold.
Worth 75.
75. Okay. If no one is opposed, I do believe this symbol would be of some sentimental value to my father. It's a symbol of Asmodeus, the Lord of the Nine Hells.
Ah,
Asmodeus.
I toss it at you. Ah,
What
Grab
is
it.
someone doing with that in this town?
Can't be certain.
That
Perhaps
is
there was some cult that worshipped demon spawn.
What
Uh,
does that make your father?
Well, my father was a original defender of Elturel and the Kingdom of Eltergard. He's one of the initial of the Companion Brotherhood, a holy order of paladin that defend the kingdom.
wow. That's pretty prestigious.
Does it have anything to do with bears?
Not that I'm aware.
Oh well.
Interestingly enough, the armed forces of the Kingdom of Eltergard are known as the Hell Riders, specifically because of the Paladin's ventures into the Nine Hells.
That sounds pretty cool.
All
Do
right,
you
so
have a horse?
I must take a dog break. I'll be right back.
sure.
I'm good.
Yeah, we can go ahead and take a quick 10-minute break or so. Get dogs out, bathrooms, drinks,
Yeah.
whatever. So we'll pick
I
up
honestly
in.
was trying to find a reference here.
Good. Cool. We'll come back to some backstory.
Sure.
No pressure.
But you're on the clock.
Yeah, let me look that up real quick, Chris.
Sure. I only know that it was part of the agreement.
Yeah.
I just don't know the means. Things got really interesting all of a sudden, I must say.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom too.
Yeah, go for it. I might actually go do that too.
Same these.
Hey, man.
Hey.
Everyone's gone.
Yeah. Dude, I went for a run today, and it was like super cold out. You know, and like you're breathing hard in cold air, and it like completely screwed up my chest, so I got like a little bit of a cough going from that.
Yeah, it's
That's what
way
you get for
worse when
running,
you're
man.
a recreational smoker.
Yeah.
Cardio's for the devil.
It'd be nice if I could hit more than twice a game.
Yeah. You've been missing a lot.
Oh, it's so bad.
Sorry, dude, I can't get a initiative roll to save my life. Always end up going last.
Going last in initiative isn't always the worst.
Hmm.
I mean, the waiting sucks, but you know, being reactionary is a little easier than taking the initiative to get things going. I'm just very much looking forward to when we level up. Just in one level.
You got something good that kicks in at 4?
Well, I multi-classed, so
Ah.
I don't have that third level boost. That extra little potency that you get.
Can you hear my cat making all that noise?
No.
Yeah, I don't
She's
hear
like-
your cat at all.
The most vocal cat in the world, man. She's probably too far away to hear, but
Hopefully, he has been temporarily placated with the stroll about the yard and a snack.
Saw you guys playing earlier. It was nice.
By him just straight up jumping and climbing on me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a little shithead, and when he's like that, if I don't drop what I'm doing soon enough, he'll go intentionally cause trouble.
Hmm. Well, that's not so nice.
Because he
Mine
can get
will,
on the counter and the table easily.
Hmm. Mine doesn't do that, but he does take whatever toy he's interested in and he will shove it like in my face, in my hand, until I acknowledge it. Sometimes I don't want to play.
Right. Well, you can guess it's probably easy by the fact that where I'm sitting, his head is like at my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think your dog's a little bigger than mine.
All right. I think we got everybody back, right?
we got Heidi.
Yep. She was just muted. She's still muted, but she's back, so I think we should be okay.
Are you looking for her up there?
No, that's my. Well, yeah. No, I'm looking at Travis. Hey. No, that's my other screen. It's awkward, an awkward setup, but it works for now.
Gotta get the bigger desk for the left right.
Well, I have my laptop over there, and I haven't moved it yet because I thought I might need it, but either way. Okay, so everybody's back. So you guys were talking about this little relic that you found. So we'll pick up from there.
Do you all have a moment for some story?
I would listen.
Yes, I believe it might be important because it might have some important information about that object.
Well, the Hell Riders of Eltergard did find themselves in the 9 hells, of which Asmodeus reigns supreme. He's not a very common deity to see worshipped. There's no temples or large shrines to Asmodeus. He's known to grant people what they want. Maybe someone was looking to be absolved of sin and turn to Asmodeus.
Deals with devils rarely end up as planned.
True, true. Well,
Regardless, we can inform Miss Calla that at least the town is cleared and still the matter of the keep.
perhaps this house was the home of a priest of Asmodeus.
Can anybody speak Infernal?
I can.
Interesting. So you would have recognized when you came in the door, there's a bunch of ornate runes. Everybody might think of them as like purely decorative, but seeing that you can understand Infernal, you can translate them as let all who enter this home without the consent of its owner burn for 99 years in the depths of Nessus and freeze for 1,000 more in the icy wastes of Cania.
Oh
I
boy.
think I also speak Infernal.
Then you would have also seen that as you walked in.
I'm just gonna be very quiet.
I do a little closer investigation of the house and see if I can find anything of interest. Now that we have a bit more of an idea of what we might be looking for.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an investigation check. Okay. So as you look around the house, you see signs of medical things, and you kind of gather that whoever owns this place was most likely a midwife. And then you can also kind of gather that they were a tiefling.
Do I know what a tiefling is?
Yeah, you would all know what a tiefling is. It's a fairly common race in Feanor or Faerun, sorry, and they tend to be a little bit taller and have darker skin with deep shaded eyes. A lot of times they're golden or other colors like that, and they tend to have horns. A lot of people think that they tend to resemble devils themselves, and they may in fact be descendant from devils, but for the most part, tieflings are generally just another common race in the area.
So, as I'm, taking in the runes that are scribed around and kind of mulling over because it's been a little while since I've, had to read Infernal. Could anything be learned about, potentially whatever curse or spell the runes are associated with by detecting magic?
Yeah, I mean, you can cast detect magic if you want, but you kind of just assume that it's a ceremonial kind of thing where they
So there's no actual curse that's been applied. It's just sort of a
no actual curse. It's
Okay.
just a ward that people would place to, be wary all ye who enter here type of warning.
Okay. Well, it seems as though the owner of this domicile may have wanted to keep the unwanted out more than the average Joe. Around us is a inscription that condemns us all to burn for some many decades
And then freeze for
among
1,000 more.
the ninth hells and freeze for 1,000 more. I wonder if we can learn anything more about the tiefling that lived here. Can we? Did anybody actually roll for investigation to look for any notes or?
Mac did, and as previously mentioned, you can tell that
Tiefling.
the tiefling was a midwife, and dealt with kind of medical things in general, but there's nothing beyond that.
And no sign of where the tiefling went?
You assume that they probably fled with all the other villagers. It doesn't look like they were, from the outside, it doesn't look like they were a hated member of the village or anything like that. You just kind of know that, generally speaking, in Faerun, people are prejudiced against tieflings just based on their descendancy.
Well, I am not one to dwell in dark places. Shall we be on our way?
As I said, we can inform Lady Kella that the town at least immediately is cleared, and next we must figure out about the keep. That's indeed where Lady Velarosa is holed up.
I agree. Let's go investigate over there.
So, where are you heading
Let's
now?
Retreat over to the drawbridge.
Back
Or
to the
busted bridge.
Oh, the broken bridge. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to head to the inn to talk to Kella Darkhope.
Okay. So Lowell, is anybody going with Lowell?
In my haste, I just kind of left and headed towards the bridge.
Okay.
Shit. I will hesitate, but then go with Lowell.
Gotcha. All right. So as you guys head up around this little farm here, you can see where my little pointer is flashing. Up above the little farm there. Yep.
Before we get too far, I do want to do one thing, if I
Okay.
may.
Yep.
I'm going to try and hang back behind Lowell out of sight, and I'm actually going to pull out my little well-made switchblade handle and flick a switch, and a little screwdriver pops out. But I concentrate on for a second, and it turns into kind of an auto-injector. I'm going to put a little cartridge into it and inject myself in the neck and use an action to teach myself a cantrip for 8 hours. And I'm going to learn the message cantrip for 8 hours.
Okay. Gotcha. Did you
And
tell
that's it.
anybody about this?
No, that's why I'm hanging back behind Lowell,
All
and
right, gotcha.
hopefully, if they're not, as long as no one's watching, I'm gonna try and do that discreetly.
Yep. Yep. No, everybody is facing away from you at the moment. So.
Then I'll just try and keep up with Lowell after that.
Okay. You catch up to Lowell kind of as he's coming back into the square up here. And as you guys come into the square, you were expected to walk across it to the inn over on this side, the northern side of the square. But you happen to look across the square, and over at the drawbridge, you see Kella Darkhope is over there. I'll give it 1 second. Gotta move her. Whoa. And it's not a fast business to move people. Okay, she's over there, and then so Kella and her little flying snake are over by the drawbridge now, and you see there are now 7 other people that have now come into the town. I know you can't see them at the moment, but give me just 1 second. Alright.
Like the one grody looking token.
Yeah. So you see these 7 other people that have walked in, and you can tell clearly that the guy in the front is their leader, and you see that he is talking pretty closely with Kella. You can't understand what they're saying at this distance, but Mac, you can easily recognize them all as mercenaries of a certain group. And right now it just looks like they're all chatting.
Okay.
So they're mercenaries, I'm guessing they're at least armed or carrying weapons and such, not villagers, clearly.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me. Alright, not bad, not bad. Yeah, so you can definitely tell that they're all armed. They're all wearing, some kind of armor, and they have various swords. And the guy in the front definitely is also more heavily armed and a little bit stronger looking than the rest of them.
I'm gonna keep kind of following Lowell's lead on this one because he kind of took off in the lead. So I'm just gonna see what he does.
Interesting. Perhaps they put out more feelers.
Yeah, it looks like she had a little bit more friends around than we might have guessed. What do you think we should do?
Yeah, I'd be naive enough. I'd go up and talk.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I will follow right behind him.
So as you approach this group, the apparent leader sees you coming across and doesn't look overly alarmed or anything, but it does take a couple steps towards you, and his other guys will kind of fan out a little bit, and he'll yell over to you, "Hail!
Hell,
What are you fellows doing here?"
so you're sent by Lady Morwen Daggerford to assist Lady Valorosa with the goblin problem, and well, there's definitely a problem with them.
It looks like there
We
are no
just-
more problems here. You should leave now.
We just thought we would check in on Miss Kella Darkhope. We ran into her earlier.
I appreciate you checking on her. And Kella pipes in at this point, like, they were very friendly. They mean no harm. And the leader says, "What are your names?"
I'm Loa Luna Chaser, my companion here.
The name's Macmillan McTavish.
I am Shulkin Alisander. I am the leader of the Seven Snakes, and we are here to liberate Nightstone.
Well, while we may have gotten the town, we still have not made our way to the keep. And we have not made contact with Lady Valorosa. That'd probably be our next course of action.
Well, as far as we can see, it looks like the bridge is broken, which cuts the keep off from the town, which, as far as I'm concerned, is good for us. We don't need the keep. We would like the keep to remain uninvolved in our business here.
Very well.
Why is that?
It's at this time you can see that the flying snake is hanging around the leader, Shulkin here. It's kind of hanging on his shoulders, and he turns to it and kind of whispers. You can't tell what he says, but the flying snake, which, Mac, you understand is typically a messenger, flying snake jumps off his shoulder, flaps its wings a couple times, and starts to fly away.
So while this is transpiring, I'm standing on the edge of the bridge here that leads to the keep,
Okay.
and I'm investigating. About what distance would you say that is?
That is 1 second here. I got it. It's
Like
a 15
feet?
yeah, 15-foot section of the bridge has been destroyed.
All right. Is it small enough to throw a small being across?
With
Perhaps
the
a
right
turtle-shaped being?
with the right strength check, you could.
Might I make a suggestion?
Of course.
Although I'm all for a good toss, if you could just give me a small push after I cast levitate, I'd probably make it there a whole lot easier.
Can
If you
I?
insist.
But he tosses you into the air and you cast levitate at the apex of your arc.
I'm afraid I don't know.
May not
if I
come
can
down.
stop it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not there. Never mind. Sorry.
Gilda, you were saying something?
Oh, so how do you determine the jump distance again?
So the
Sorry.
jump distance, if you can run 10 feet and then jump, so if there's clear space 10 feet before you jump, then you can jump up to your strength.
I have
And-
a possible solution, so I will
Hold
attempt to
on.
dismiss myself before they do anything
Oh boy,
crazy.
that's bad.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And
I
if you
just
if you
wasn't
can't
sure.
run 10 feet, then you do a standing jump. That's just half of your strength and distance. I will say at this point, Gilda, you were kind of hanging back from Wabu and Owen.
Mhm.
You happen to turn around, and you can see that Lowell and Mac appear to be engaged in conversation.
Oh, Nurs, I'll say, well, very well. We still have to make contact with the Lady of the Keep, but I'm not sure whoever signed you out, but good luck, sir.
We would have, and Shulkin responds, we would appreciate if you did not contact the Lady of the Keep.
Unfortunately, our contract is with her.
Well, it seems like you're going to make trouble for us if we continue down this path.
I don't see much need for us to mention you, if that's the problem at hand.
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh, boy.
Okay. He looks at you a little curiously and said, says, "We're not normally in the business of allowing people to leave once they've known our business."
We don't
looks
know
like
what
I'm-
your business is.
Well, we are. He looks at Mac and, can see a similarity there. Says, "You know where we come from."
Yeah, I was gonna say. So if I'm behind Lowell and out of sight, I'll point a finger at him before he would have even said that, and in message or with casting message say, "You aren't the only gentleman in town."
Okay. Yep. Gotcha. And so he would have responded.
Oh, I'm sorry, and I'll also add, "Please be or use some discretion."
Gotcha. Okay. So with that, he would have said, "Our business is not unknown to all of your party. We surmise that there's somebody with you that can gather what we are about. However, we have been sent here in order to ensure that this town benefits our cause, and we don't want anybody interfering with that."
I don't see any reason to. We have our own job at hand, and we should focus on that. If you just let us go.
So he did say that out loud. So Lowell, you would have also heard that.
Yep.
Can I, while this is going on, can I run across this bridge and use Step of the Wind to make that jump
Yeah, I think
with
you
one
could.
key point? I think.
You also have mirthful leaps, right?
Mm,
I could be wrong.
I was trying to find it.
Yeah. So, mirthful leaps is under your features and traits on D&D Beyond, at least. Whenever you make a long or high jump, you can roll a d8 and add the number rolled to the number of feet you cover, even when making a standing jump. The extra distance costs movement as normal. So, what's your strength is 8. So at most you could jump 16 feet. So you might not make it. So you were trying to do what again?
I was gonna do Step of the Wind and then
Step of the-
spend a key point because then I can double, which means I would get the 16 feet.
Where's Step of the Wind real quick? I'm trying to find that. It's under active abilities. Okay. Let me just look at that real quick. Oh, Step of the Wind. Okay, yeah.
And my jump distance is doubled.
Okay, yeah. So if you were to do Step of the Wind, spend a key point, then you could jump, and then you would basically have double your strength, or up to double your strength, plus using a mirthful leap, you could add a d8 to try and get across there.
Okay. So how do I do that? Sorry.
So with your Step of the Wind, as long as you have 10 feet, which you do, you can jump up to 16 feet, which you can make that jump. with no extra difficulty.
So I can just do that.
You spend a key point, but then you can do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay. And I saw that you had 3 key points. You haven't rested yet. I can't remember if you've spent any previously
I
on
spent
an
one
attack.
before the long rest. So
And
back in.
Back in the tavern. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Yep.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I'm gonna
and...
make. I'm gonna run, and my 2 companions, all they're gonna hear are the little beating of my hoofs on this bridge. I'm just gonna yell, Geronimo! And try to make the jump, or make the jump.
Yep. Yep. You can make the jump with that key point spent. So no issues there.
Okay. That's it.
Okay. Meanwhile, Lowell or Mac, one of you go ahead and make a persuasion check. I'll say with advantage because you're both talking to Shulkin. Whichever one of you wants to do it.
Both our persuasion is terrible.
Yes, both. I believe so.
But you do have advantage on it.
I'll go for it.
Okay, 15. With that, Shulkin will, on a certain level, concede a certain point. His flying snake does go all the way away, and he'll say to you, as long as you don't interfere with our business, we have no business with you. And with that,
Shame
he
goes
kind
to
of
you.
turns around and begins to ignore you and goes back to his group to talk to them.
Do they hear me jumping across the bridge?
No, they wouldn't be able to hear you at this distance.
Okay.
Lowell, I believe we should be going.
Maybe we should meet up with the rest.
Yes.
Then whenever we're clearly well out of earshot, I'll just ask Mac, so do you have any idea what they were about?
Looks like a band of mercenaries. Can't be totally sure of who, but I think I recognize them from Waterdeep. Let's just be a little weary of them.
Say, do you know what type of business they're usually in?
Can go either way. Sometimes they're just guards, but sometimes they, more aggressive.
So as they're making their way down towards the broken bridge, I guess I'll proposition Wabu again, see if he wants to be thrown or wants to cast his levitate spell to make it across.
Yeah. Well, you see, if I cast levitate, then I'll make it. It'll be easy. If
It's
you
not
throw
that
me,
far.
I mean, you look strong, but I'm heavier than I look. I'm a turtle.
How far down is it to the water?
It looks to be about 20 feet or so from the lower side of the bridge.
All right. I'm willing to take one chance.
How did she get across?
I jumped.
You jumped.
Well,
Those
How
goat
big
legs.
is that gap? That is quite the gap.
I trust you, Owen.
Tis but hop, skip, and a jump for me.
Okay, but physics are a thing, gentlemen.
All right, so can I try and throw Wabu?
Yeah. So is Wabu? Are you casting levitate for this, or he's
I am
he just
not.
throwing it? Okay.
Can I try and
I
save
have-
the spell
I
slot?
do have my staff out, however.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
All right.
Oh boy.
The DC was 15. So you go to throw him, you get a really good toss on him, and it looks like he's about to make it. His arc is looking good, but the other side was just a little bit higher than you planned on, and it looks like he's just gonna end up short of it.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't actually trust Owen. I'm gonna cast levitate as I'm being tossed.
Okay. Do you cast it before you end up, or do you cast it like at your peak or on the way back down?
It doesn't matter because I can adjust my height.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so
Up
it's
to
a
20 feet.
casting of levitation, which do you do it discreetly so Owen knows that you cast it, or do you try and make it look like his throw got you there?
No, I'm gonna blatantly cast it.
All right. So clearly he was not gonna make it. Owen, you see him cast this, and you feel a little bit of sadness.
I told you I was heavy.
All right.
Perhaps I may have underestimated your portliness.
Here, redeem yourself with this. I pull out a rope and hand it to Owen. Toss that across. Maybe we can lash it around and make our way across somehow.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss the rope. Do you want to make another?
No, you can throw the rope.
Okay. All right,
Um,
throw the rope
yep.
over to
Catch.
Gilda.
Looks like Lowell, you're just gonna use Misty Step to get over there.
I'm debating.
Okay. All right. So we'll wait on that. So you throw the rope over. You can find something to tie it off on. It might be slightly below the level of the bridge, but it looks sturdy enough. Actually, who's tying the knots?
I'll tie the knots.
I'll tie the knot on. Oh God, I'll
Okay.
tie them. in my hand.
Whoever's tying a knot, go ahead and give me a dexterity check.
Yeah, you don't want me tying that.
We'll see how good your knots are.
Did it roll?
There it is.
Wait, where'd it go? Mine didn't work.
I didn't see a roll. Did you do it as a private roll?
No.
Dice? A die definitely went across the screen.
A black one, yeah, that was max. Oh,
okay.
there's one. Okay, all right. So you guys tie them off. You feel fairly confident in your knots.
This is a perfect knot.
If you're quick, you might make it over.
I trust this completely, and I'm gonna kind of do like a squirrel climb and try and pull myself across.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and make an acrobatics check for me.
I would love to try.
Easily scamper across. No issues.
All right. It pays off weighing only 60 pounds.
You'll excuse me. I'm gonna back up and take a running go at it. Get a strength of 18, so
Okay.
should be able to clear the gap without using the rope.
Even with your really heavy armor, you run up. It is uphill, so it's a little difficult, but you jump. Go ahead. Just roll me an athletics check real quick.
Oh my god.
You do make it. You do land on the other side, but your footing is very unstable, and you start slipping. You can't get your balance. Gilda's right next to you.
Grab
Teetering on the
hold.
edge.
I put my head down so you can grab my horn, and I'm gonna heave.
All right. So you can grab her horns. There's plenty of tines to grab onto, and you are able to pull yourself back up. No issues.
Ooh, a close one.
Given the conversation with the mercenaries, I'll untie the knot, yell at them to pull the rope up, and then misty step over.
Okay. All right, so you
Coil the
misty
rope
step
back up.
over and untie the rope on your side. You got your rope back.
To not leave
There's
obvious
5
evidence.
of us,
That's
and
where
not
we
one
are.
single one of us crossed the same way.
I was originally going to do the rope. It's like, not make it painfully obvious where we ended up.
All right. So as you all stand on this upper part of the bridge, you can obviously see the outer wall of the keep's walls, the palisades, and all that. They're about 15 feet tall or so, and right in front of you at the top of the bridge, you've got a gatehouse. It's got wood shingled, high pitched rooftops. They're 20 feet tall or so, and then right in the middle there's a huge set of oak doors. They look partially ajar, nothing, not locked or anything like that.
Let's go in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think we should knock?
I didn't, but I should
I didn't think, honestly. I'll hold on if you want to knock.
Sure, I'll go knock.
Okay. You knock. You wait
Knock,
1
knock,
minute,
knock.
2 minutes, 3 minutes. Nobody's coming by.
Can we press open the gate, the doors?
Yeah, you go
Is it,
ahead and
like,
push on the
locked?
doors. No, they were partially ajar before, so you go ahead and
Okay.
push on them, and they easily swing open. Remarkably well for how large the doors are, but you imagine that the hinges are probably pretty well balanced and pretty well oiled, so no issues going in. Alright,
Enter
you
the
guys-
courtyard here.
Yep.
Keep.
Do a quick just survey of the area as we get in.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check.
We're gonna do a group perception, or
You can also make a perception check if you want. Lowell was just doing one for himself.
looks like 20 will do it, but
All right, yeah. So with the 20, you look around. You don't see signs of any goblins or any nefarious creatures. You do happen to see, over here. Obviously, there's a huge hole in the guard or gatehouse's, ceiling. Looks like it partially collapsed one of the walls. Over on the northwest corner of the keep, there's another rock that smashed part of the keep. There's a couple rocks scattered around in the courtyards. If you wanted to, you could do a quick tour around. But you're not going to find a whole lot other than a couple piles of rubble and some rocks. You do see in front of you there's the big doors of the keep, and that's
Does
about.
that look like anyone's been outside the immediate keep recently, or doesn't look like it?
Doesn't look like it. No.
Well, if there's anyone still here, they're probably still holed up inside, it seems.
Let's go say hi.
go
Okay.
ahead and walk up. And the door of the keep is here.
Yep.
Okay. Closed, right? So I guess we'll knock and call out.
Yoo-hoo!
All right, you wait just a little bit, and then the door creaks open, and you see a guard. Clearly a guard, wearing relatively heavy armor, and he's got a sword on his side, and he kind of looks at you and says, "Who are you?"
I am Owen Hammerhand. We
Bravo.
have been contracted by a Miss Morwen Daggerford. We're in search of a Miss Velrosa Nandar.
Ah, Lady Nandar, please Come in, come in. And they wave you in.
All right, get inside.
Going for a ride.
Oh, I got lost.
All right. So you're all inside, and you see there are 4 guards inside, including the one that came and opened the door for you. 'Cause as you come in the doorway, you're in obviously the Great Hall, and you can see, unfortunately, it looks like the remains of a finely well-dressed woman laying on top of the remains of an oak dining table. And the 3 other ones, besides the one that came and opened the door, appear to be arguing. Kind of get the idea that they're arguing about what they should do next in the town. So the one that opened the door says to you, I do apologize. Lady Nandar has been slain by the falling rocks. We aren't exactly sure what to do at the moment. How can we help you?
Yeah, well, this complicates things.
Certainly does.
I'm at a loss.
Perhaps, if it's not too much trouble, we might take a token so that we can assure our contractors that we have established contact with the keep here at Nightstone.
We don't really have a whole lot of tokens of the lady. Obviously, there's anything that she's wearing, but we would really appreciate you not taking anything off of her person. That would be incredibly disrespectful.
Perhaps
So
just
that's a
official.
note of fingers.
Or is there an official seal still about somewhere that wasn't destroyed?
There may be a seal up in her bedroom. We can do a walk up there if you would like to try and find something. We Can you tell us about the status of the town? We obviously have been cut off from the town with the bridge being destroyed. Are the people okay?
There
It
aren't
appears
any.
that most everyone has fled. We did come into contact with one Miss Kella Darkhope. She has apparently regrouped with her associates and has vacated the premises.
Her compatriots. What do you mean compatriots? What did they look like?
I don't think we ever informed
Yeah.
you of that,
Mm-hmm.
or that she even made contact.
So maybe I'll take back my statement and just say that we made contact with a Miss Kella Darkhope. She was the only survivor we found. Everybody else appeared to have vacated.
I'll say, during the walk up to the bridge, if you guys wanted to, you probably would have mentioned that there were seven new members of the
Alright.
7 snakes in the village. Unless you guys would like to keep that secret from them.
I wouldn't specify anything, but I would keep quiet if Lowell decides to say anything.
Okay. Lowell, would you have told them that those members came into the village?
If I did so, I would have said they were acting a bit fishy, so use discretion on mentioning them.
Okay. So with that information, would Owen, would you have told these guards all that has transpired down there?
Maybe just say she met up with a couple of you know, friends, just based off of sort of the other members of the party, sort of reiterating the story, but not get into too many specifics. And maybe I'll deflect a little bit and ask to inspect the body of the lady of the keep, right? So Miss
To pay our
Velrosa Nandar.
respects.
Yeah, and if possible, maybe do a medicine check to see if there's like anything amiss, like if maybe there's some foul play, or maybe she's just properly crushed.
Okay.
Foul play being a giant boulder from the sky.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check to see if they'll let you
Persuasion.
near
Alright.
her. They're very reluctant in general. Okay. With that, they recognize you as a healer of sorts, or someone who tends to be of the lawful good nature, and so they do let you approach Lady Nandar. Go ahead and do a medicine check.
As their attention's on him, I'm going to try and sneak over past the rubble to this doorway.
Okay. So with a 10, as you're looking over her body, you can see signs of obvious blunt force trauma. It looks like she was underneath the rubble when it collapsed. And
Okay.
that appears to be what killed her. So you're going into the southwest chamber. I think
Were there any witnesses to the source of these rocks?
we did see some things in the sky. It looked like a giant castle. Then the rocks just started falling. One of them, pipes up. I think I remember hearing a story that these flying castles were from giants. They were giants' castles, cloud giants, I think. But I can't be sure. I didn't actually see them. I just have heard the rumors.
Interesting.
And
I've
all the
also heard
rocks?
rumors.
Do the rocks seem to all be coming from the castle?
Yeah, as far as we can tell, all the rocks fell straight down from the castle. It kind of stayed above us for a period of time, and the rocks just kept falling and falling, and obviously we didn't pay too much attention once Lady Nandar got covered in the collapse. We were trying to get her out. Thankfully, no other rocks fell here, but we did manage to get her out. But unfortunately, she had passed before we could get to her.
The goblins come after the rocks or before?
Goblins? I'm not sure what you mean. I haven't seen any goblins.
Were there any known nests nearby the town, perhaps why we were originally contracted?
So Lady Nandar, she did send out the contracts. That's right. She was, we had a couple run-ins with some goblins. I didn't know they were in the town anymore. But I guess it makes sense if you said there's nobody down there, well, the goblins would come in. But there was a cave. I think it was just a bat cave, but it was about a mile north of the village. I think it was called. One of the other guards pitches in. It was called the Dripping Caves. The Dripping Caves. And like yeah. So that was. We were supposed to go to the Dripping Caves if there was an attack on the village because it was supposed to be really safe. No, sorry. Or recant what I just said. The villagers were supposed to retreat to the keep in case of an attack, but we know that there was a cave up to the north. If you say there's no villagers in the town, I can only assume that they probably went up there and hid in the cave.
No, I don't remember. Was that seem the north was the direction the tracks were going when it looked going in, or
Yeah, so when you were at the main gate at the drawbridge, it did look like most of the human tracks coming out of the village did go to the north. So you can make the assumption that they were going towards the dripping caves.
well, when we came in, there was many tracks of people who seemed to be fleeing, possibly after this castle attacked, and they were heading in that direction. There may still be survivors nestled up there.
Would you be able to check for us? If we can get the villagers back in the town, we can start to rebuild.
That's something certainly we can do.
Okay. And so, Mac, you're down there. What are you doing over in this room? Oh, you were trying to sneak away, so we'll make a stealth.
Yeah, I'm trying to be discreet
Yeah.
and see if I can make my way into this room and find anything of value or interest.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check. See if they see you walk away.
Okay. You know what? Just for the hell of it, I'm gonna use my Zerf Neblin trait to give myself advantage.
Okay. Natural 20.
Good thing you did.
Good thing I did.
Without a sound, you sneak behind Gilda and Lowell, and nobody even notices you. When you sneak into this room.
Sweet. I'm gonna take a look around, see if I. What is it? What's in here?
So you look around and you can tell that there's a fireplace on one side and a nice sitting chair, and all along the wall there's lots of bookshelves, and there's a desk in one corner with lots of writing materials and stuff. And you kind of get the idea that this was probably a den and or a library used to store a lot of books and do some paperwork and stuff.
Is there a desk where the paperwork would be done?
Yep, there is a desk. You go ahead and roll a perception check.
Oh, perception.
Okay. So as you approach the desk, you find none of the drawers are locked, and you're looking through, and as you look through the drawers, you find various papers, for this or that. It doesn't look like there's really anything of particular value in the desk, or even really around the room in general. There is a ladder on one side of the room, happens to go up to a secondary balcony, which looks like there's just more books and stuff up there.
Yeah, if it looks uninteresting, I guess I'll quietly make my way back out and sneak my way back into the group.
So as you sneak back, and you all would have noticed this, right in the kind of in the middle left side of the room there is a stairway or set of stairs that look like they would go up.
Maybe I'll make my way up there then.
Okay. I'll say with that stealth check, you probably could. We'll continue it, and it's easy enough for you to continue up the stairs if you would like to.
Yeah, screw it, I will. I'll ride
Okay.
that natural 20.
All right. So you are upstairs. So I'll put you over here. So you come out into this middle area here. That's the upstairs hallway. Looks like there's a stone balcony that overlooks the entrance to the keep, and so another similar staircase that's on the south side of the wall, and based on the size, you kind of imagine that would go up to the roof. But you do see a couple other doors here. What would you like to do?
I will. Let's see, I know that this room over here is probably destroyed, so I'll make my way over to this room
Okay.
and test the door.
That the door is not locked.
Open it up and peek in.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. I think it's this one. I can't really. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to tell what the letters actually are on those.
That's supposed to be an E?
I believe so. Yeah. All right. So you peek in, and in this room, you can see it looks like it's intact. You can see a couple tapestries and oil lamps mounted to the walls, a wolfskin rug on the floor. And in the center of the room, there's a very large bed with an ornate headboard sculpted with images of roses and foxes. There are 4 wardrobes that are against the walls. Each of them you can kind of assume a bunch of clothes. At the foot of the bed is an unlocked wooden chest, and then do you continue in the room?
Yeah. Saying, who the hell sleeps in the middle of the room?
As you go in the room, and you continue to look around, behind you, you happen to see above the door is mounted a long sword, and that's mostly what you've seen in this place.
Okay. Cut back to the rest of the group for a minute.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So the rest of you guys, you were talking with the guards. They've told you that most likely the village, since they couldn't get to the keep, they probably fled to the caves. About the cloud giants attack. Did you? I forget. Did you happen to tell them about the 7 snakes arriving in the village?
We didn't. We left it sort of nondescript.
Okay.
So the goblins. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
So the goblins and the stones aren't related.
As far as we can tell, no. The goblins have been attacking us for some weeks now. We've been mostly able to hold them off. We have had several injured, and one even died last week from the attacks, but mostly we just sent out a call to ask for some aid in getting rid of the goblins.
Well, it appears when your townsfolk had vacated, the goblins moved in. Had quite an infestation.
That's terrible news. Were you able to take care of them?
Of course.
Oh,
We dispatched of them quickly.
Thank you for that. I don't know how to repay you. In the meantime, we're still not really sure what to do with Lady Nandar dead and the villagers missing. We're not really sure where to go from here.
Perhaps you might consider seeking out the town of Daggerford.
No, we can't abandon our town. We have to make sure that the villagers are okay.
And say we can still verify in those caves to see if any of them survived and have them return.
We would be ever grateful if you could do that for us.
Where do we search for a token of Lady Nandar to be paid the rest of our contract?
We
The bedroom, you said?
so as far as your contract goes, you were paid
Like before.
you were paid the 60 gold for your services in Daggerford, and that was for you to come up here to assist in any contracts that they had available up here. So you don't currently have any open contracts. But they say we don't have a whole lot. We don't know what Lady Nandar was necessarily willing to offer a whole lot of people, but if you could find the villagers and return them to us, I think we could go into the coffers and probably pay 100 gold apiece. I think that's all that was in there at the moment.
Very well. Do we notice that Mac is gone, or
Make,
has he
make a
evaded our
well,
senses too?
with his natural 20 for a total of 26, I would say. Uh, if you want to roll perception, you can, but he's pretty much he was gone.
I was just gonna say, like, should we like try and distract these guys just to sort of wait for him to finish up what he's doing up there?
I'll say you didn't notice that he was gone.
Okay.
He's-
Possible
have a question.
deniability.
I have a question. Do you know most of the people in the village?
Of course, it's a very small village. We know everybody.
Well, if you go across the bridge and to the right, there's a house across from the second field. Whose house is this?
Oh,
You know?
you must be referring to the Agenor residents. Are
Agenor?
that is their last name. The cottage belongs to Destiny Agenor. She is our village's midwife. Her and her son Grin have lived there for a number of years.
Do you guys have any problems with her? Is she helpful?
No, we've never had any issues with her as far as I can remember. She's been very helpful. She is a midwife, so she's helped deliver several babies, and she has some amount of medical experience, so she has helped us in that front. We've never had any issues with her. Is there something did you find something that's of concern?
So I'll go ahead and pull out the old relic that I found, the sigil of Asmodeus, and I'll explain to them essentially what we found and sort of the backstory and the runes that we found around the room.
Okay.
Quite concerning, wouldn't you say?
Oh well. None of them are very familiar with religion, but they would say,
The leader of the Nine Hells.
uh, give me just one sec. I just want to look at something real quick. I think.
I like the way he talks. Very emphatic.
Yeah. Let me do. The guards mentioned, like they know a little bit about the tiefling race. The tieflings are a race that has been, in generations past, been influenced by the essence of Asmodeus. And it kind of has been infused into their bloodline, and it has influenced their appearance. And for some of them, it has influenced their nature as well. And not all of them are influenced by that Asmodeus influence, but some of them have fallen to the sins based on that that background. But as far as they have been able to tell, they haven't had any issues with destiny, and people can worship whatever they would like to worship, but she has shown nothing but good to this village, and so we have no reason to think she is any kind of nefarious person.
Well, thank you.
Well, perhaps we should be on our way.
Villagers don't rescue themselves, I suppose.
Well, we would greatly appreciate you helping the villagers, and then if you can help, or at least tell us what happened to them, we would be forever grateful. We'll cut back to Mac. What's Mac doing up here?
I'll
Last
look
thing
around.
is I'll get a. If I have a map, if they can mark a good location of the cave.
Yeah, it's easy enough to describe and or show you on a piece of paper where the caves are.
Alrighty, I'm gonna look around and I'll cast Detect Magic, which I will pull out my little magic screwdriver and twirl it, and a monocle will appear in the air, and I'll look through that.
Okay. So as you look around, you don't really find too much magic in the room, but as you look behind you above the door, that long sword that's hanging up there does emit a glow, and you can tell that it is magic of some sort.
I thought so. And there's no other magic in the room?
No other magic in the room.
Okay. Then I'm gonna make sure that that sword's not trapped, but I'm gonna see if I can get that down. So I guess I'm gonna have to look for something to stand on, so like a chair or something.
Okay. You can find a chair. And you go ahead and you can grab the sword. Easy enough to pull down, just kind of resting on a rack.
How big is it?
Normal longsword size.
So like twice as tall as I am, or almost twice as tall.
It's probably
So I
the
kinda-
blade's probably 2 feet, 2.5 feet in length.
Okay. So almost as tall as I am. I will almost comically open up my little pouch and just like slide it down into its little haversack, infinite storage.
Okay.
And then I'll make my way over to the chest and check that out.
Okay. I gotta check something real quick.
Be right back while he hobos about.
Sure.
Hey, I'm a professional.
Professional hobo.
I'm working on that. That's a temporary situation.
Okay. Well, yeah. So you put the sword in your bag, and that's your bag of holding, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And then you said you're going over to the chest?
Yes. So nothing happens when I put the sword in?
Nothing happens when you put the sword in.
Great. I was a little nervous there for a second.
All right. Well, what do you do now?
So I go over to the chest and I'm gonna root through that and see if I find anything of interest and or value.
Okay. So you open the chest, and you can see inside it's divided into several small compartments. Inside, you see a little velvet sack contains 180 silver pieces. You see a silk pouch containing 4 gemstones worth 100 gold pieces. You see a silver jewelry box worth about 25 gold pieces. And in that jewelry box, you open it up, and it contains 3 beautiful gold necklaces worth about 250 gold pieces each.
Holy
Oh my
shit.
God.
All into the haversack.
Okay, so as you go to grab this treasure, you open your haversack and you go to throw this stuff in, and that sword comes out,
Oh shit.
and I need you to roll initiative.
Oh god. Oh boy.
That's not good initiative.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
so with that, this is in fact a flying sword. It is not your friend. So it pops out of this bag that you had it in, and immediately it's right next to you, so it's going to go ahead and attack you.
This is going very poorly.
15.
15 hits.
15 will hit. All right. So it hits
Zero.
you for 2 slashing damage.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Starting to get to wonder where Mac went. He's just lying, bleeding in the bedroom.
Do you make any noise with this?
I certainly try not to. I'm like going to dive to the ground, ducking under the sword as it cuts me, and I'll roll to the side.
All right. So, whoops.
A lot of noise might not go too well.
All right. Sorry, I forgot to begin combat. All right. Well, so the sword has taken its turn. It slashed at you for a couple damage. It is now your turn.
I'm going to make sure I get that loot in the bag.
Okay, so you toss the loot in the bag.
And I am going to bolt for the door, and I will, yeah, screw it. I'm going to bolt for the door and try and get through it and close it behind me.
Okay. Are you using disengage or just running?
Using a disengage as an action wouldn't interfere with me opening and closing the door behind me, would it?
I would say no. You'd be able to do that.
Okay, then I will disengage.
Okay. So you disengage and you get out of the door. And then you close the door?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So I think... So that'll end your turn. So we'll go to the sword again. It knows nothing other than trying to prevent that chest from being looted. And so it's gonna... It comes as close as it can to you. And it's just gonna swing, so it's gonna try and hit the door. $17, okay. And it hits the door for 5 slashing damage. So you hear it on the other side of the door, and you can hear it smash against the door. You hear some slashing, and the door sounds like it's holding up all right, but you can imagine that the door is not going to hold on forever.
I will shamefully and hurriedly try and sneak my way back down the stairs.
Okay. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you have the hide feature?
I mean, I think anyone can hide as an action. I just think
true,
you're
yeah.
thinking of cunning action, which I don't have yet.
No, I was thinking of something else. I know elves can like fade into whatever, but so you are
Yeah, no,
technically on the other side of the door. So I would say go ahead and roll a stealth check. Then you do get advantage with it because well, I guess yeah, I'll give you advantage on it because you're on the other side of the door and it doesn't really have any senses. So 16, okay. So you do manage to sneak away down the door. And I'll just say it's the sword's turn again. It only knows that you're on the other side of the door, so it's going to go ahead and swing at the door again. It hits the door, for sure. Alright, so you sneak down the stairs just as you hear the sword slash at the door again, and you hear the door splinter, and you can just make out the sword come into the hallway as you're sneaking around the stairs coming back down. So it's your turn again. I'll say make another stealth check. Okay. All right. So with that, you manage to get down the stairs. You do manage to get away from the sword. You regroup down there. They all see you come down because you were not coming down. You were coming down rapidly, and they all kind of look at you funny, be like, "Where were you?"
So just checking out upstairs. Unstable roof up there. Don't go up that way. It's dangerous. I got injured.
Go ahead.
So the
Don't
people
go
that
upstairs.
Make a
were
pers-
in the keep, did they also see him come down the stairs?
Yeah, they all saw him come down too. They're kind of like looking at the stairs. So
So, recognizing that he came down the stairs in a hurry, and the, people of the keep are sort of also recognizing that, I'm gonna try and shift the conversation away a little bit and try and distract him, and say, "Have you heard the good word of our Lord and Savior Torm?"
all
Try
right.
to disengage.
One of you go ahead and roll a persuasion check with advantage because you're both trying to help in this deception here. Sorry, not persuasion. I meant deception check.
Deception. Okay.
Deception. Yep. And one of you do it, or I guess both of you can do it, or one of you with advantage.
You want to take
I'll-
advantage?
I'll take advantage. Sure. Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah. So they just kind of ignore your comment, and they look at you, Mac, and say, "What were you doing up there? We
Thought
heard
you
some
said
noises."
you should go upstairs. You said earlier about checking out upstairs.
We said nothing about going upstairs.
You didn't say we could look upstairs?
We in fact did not.
Hmm.
Did you find anything up there interesting?
An unstable ceiling.
All right, you go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
I mean, persuasion or deception?
Your choice. Your choice.
Definitely deception.
Okay. With that, they just kind of look at you and say, "Please don't go wandering around the castle. We know it's unstable, and we don't want anything disturbed."
You know, the nails were very finely crafted. Compliments to the blacksmith. It nearly killed me. Look at this cut.
Well, when you see the blacksmith, you can tell him.
Why would we be seeing the blacksmith?
We don't know. Just don't go wandering anymore.
No problem. So, are we leaving?
It's about that time.
So perhaps if you have some quarters, we may take a short rest before we head out.
We don't have much in the way of a lot of rooms, but we do have a couple rooms upstairs.
Only be for a few hours.
If you would like to take a short rest upstairs, I think that would be okay. We will make sure that we go with you.
The weather is so nice out. I believe perhaps I'll just head out there.
But there's a nice comfy bedroom upstairs.
I was born deep underground. I prefer Earth.
If you insist.
I do. I'm gonna let myself outside.
Okay.
You know, perhaps bring the point. Perhaps we should be hasty and get going, find those villagers.
Should we not go to the top to see if there are more goblins?
I think perhaps we should get going.
I trust the guards. They said there were none here.
What would you like to do?
Onward.
I also walk out the door.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to give the wink, wink, nudge, nudge as though we should get going.
To the Dripping Caves.
Not necessarily there, just out of there.
Well, I can pretend like we're going there. Obviously, we've sensed that something is amiss.
Went so poorly.
What the hell did you do?
I was scouting.
Uh-huh.
And then I found some things, and then a sword attacked me that was flying. I say this once I know we're far enough away from the door.
I will say at this point, it's getting longer in the day. It's definitely evening. The sun is getting low in the sky.
Well, I was hoping to rest a couple hours there to not have to deal with whatever those mercenaries were planning, but kind of made it awkward to stay there, so now we're at a bit of an impasse.
Yeah, my bad.
Well, perhaps we should make our way across the chasm in the bridge before it gets too dark.
You want to
We
try
could,
throwing me again?
I do.
Where's the rope?
I seek redemption.
I'll have my staff out just in case.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll a strength check. This one will be a little easier because it's more downhill.
Nat
Oh.
20.
Easily throw them across. You almost throw them all the way down into the
Just throw
grass
'em.
down there.
Redemption!
Good throw.
And then
As
I'm
he's
gonna,
flying away.
Disappointed.
All right.
then
Which one of you can easily make this jump?
I can.
I'll burn a wild shape to be like a little mouse and go hang out in a pocket.
Okay.
That's a good idea. I'm just gonna try and climb on him without asking.
So you're climbing on Owen.
Yes, I'm gonna try and ride him across.
Okay. All right. So
Oh,
Owen,
Hold on,
Jesus.
there, big fella.
Owen, you
You're
got
not
I'm
gonna
an
a
injured
gnome on your
man.
back and a mouse in your pocket. What do you want to do?
I want to make the jump. Little bit of hubris, you know.
Okay. All right. I'll
I saw that throw. You can do this.
go ahead and roll a strength check.
Well, so much for my good plan to get across.
No.
Hi ho, Silva! And then,
You get about halfway across the gap, and then you all start falling, and you realize you're not making it.
Can I cast levitation?
Can you
On
cast
Owen?
it? Can you cast it on them?
Yep.
Okay.
you got the spell slots?
I can cast it.
Yeah. Okay. So you see that they're not gonna make it. Obviously, like there was no way that they should have even tried. So you go ahead and cast your levitation on them, and and you just kind of feel like this weird, like you stopped falling for a second. You're like, that's not what was supposed to happen.
It's a good thing I didn't trust you again, Owen.
I'll just glide to the other side.
I made
Much
angry,
obliged.
made angry squeaks when Max started climbing on.
I surf Owen the rest of the way.
All right, all the way down into the village. So you guys all make it. Just Gilda left.
I've got my staff ready.
I'm just gonna take a running leap and use the mirthful leaps, and I should make it across.
Okay, so
I'll
your,
go back.
your mirthful leap adds a D8. So with your running leap, you get 8 feet, and with your mirthful leaps, you can add a D8. I'll say based on the angle, because it's a 15-foot gap. We'll say straight line. You got to break a 12.
So what do
Or-
I roll?
Sorry, you got to roll a 12 or a higher. So roll a D8, and if
Do I just type it in the thing? Sorry, I forget.
yep, in the bottom you just roll, type /roll space D8, and if it's
Okay.
a 4 or higher, you make it.
Big money, big money, big money.
6.
Damn it.
You make
Oh,
it.
wait, 4 or higher.
Yeah, if it was a
All
4 or
right.
higher, you make it. So,
Okay.
now just go ahead and roll me a dexterity, or sorry, an acrobatics check.
Okay.
Okay. You land on your feet, skid to a stop, no issues. Now you're all across the
Nice.
bridge.
I'll go back to my normal shape and yell at Magus. There's a difference between a 2-pound mouse and an 80-pound. What, you halfling?
I'm a halfling, and it's 60 pounds. You watch it, rodent.
I'm gonna, kind of collect myself and dust myself off and not dignify that with a response and keep moving.
Okay.
Swallow
Sure.
my hurt pride a little bit.
I'm just gonna tap you as you go by and give you a wink.
Before we go too far, what do we want to do if we run into that band?
Let's just
What
avoid
kind
them
of music do they
altogether.
play?
Perhaps we could hole up in the temple for the night.
What of the home of the midwife?
About how far of a travel would he estimate it to being to the caves?
It was about a mile.
It's close by. Perhaps we can get them back before night.
It is actually about this time. Night. The sun has finished setting. You guys were at the bridge for a little while, figuring out how to get across. So it is the beginnings of night.
I am of the opinion that we should take a rest and set out at dawn.
I second that. I see no reason to rush. Plus, goblins are at their worst at night.
I'll vaporize them.
That's statistically probable.
We can get
Yes,
along with
rest
that.
sounds good. Can we
Okay.
just jump in one of these houses?
Yeah. You knew that the band was over by the drawbridge, and you can assume that they probably stayed up that way somewhere. So, one of these houses
Perhaps
on
the windmill?
the southern side. You can go in the windmill if you would like. You haven't looked in there yet.
Windmill might be a little cramped.
It's not a huge area. It's probably about 10 feet by 10 feet. You could all fit in there, though.
I'm small. I can fit in my shell.
Alright. Windmill works.
Okay.
Get the white noise going.
All right, so you're in the windmill. Is going for a long rest. Is anybody keeping watch?
Yes, let's set up a rotation.
So
I'll take the first watch.
just so you guys kind of know how I wanted to do the long rest stuff. Like it'll be a 9-hour period, so there will basically be three watches. So you'll all, as long as everybody only takes one period, you'll all still get a long rest.
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Who's taking first watch?
I'll take the first watch.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. Natural 20.
Dude, I'm either on fire, or like I've had a couple of nat 20s or nat 1s. There's like no in between.
Paradise.
Just-
You're either on fire or you're cursing yourself for later.
Yeah.
We'll find out. So with that,
Think-
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think you control the dice rolls. You got a switch over there. Good,
Probably,
bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So with a natural 20, you're very alert. You know, you've had a pretty stressful day. you see everybody kind of going to bed, and you can hear more than you thought you could normally hear. You hear creatures in the woods nearby. You're not really sure what they are, but you imagine they're just little animals. You can hear the windmill, but your watch goes by uneventful.
Who had second?
I'll take second.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception check. 23, not bad. So it's, getting into the earlier hours of the morning. The sun isn't starting to come up, but it is past midnight. And you don't really hear anything noteworthy. And your watch passes by uneventful.
And during the rest, I'll use Druidcraft just to get an idea of the weather for tomorrow.
Okay. I'll say go ahead and roll a d20, just a regular d20.
What was the command again?
/ roll space d20.
Space.
Okay. From your druid craft, you get the idea that it's going to be a mostly sunny day. You do see a golden orb with, it looks like it's going to be slightly cloudy, but for the most part, should be good weather. And that concludes your watch. Who takes the third?
I'll take the third.
Okay, go ahead and roll perception. Don't hear much of anything. And that's why it kind of surprises you when, in the very early hours of the morning,
The sword.
the sword's not back, no. It got locked in the room. It did break out, but the guards probably took care of it as it came down the stairs. But you do eventually hear the shouting of a whole bunch of some kind of creature. Not exactly sure what it is, but it appears to be coming from outside of the gate.
And I do notice this with the 6?
Not until they're very close, but you do notice it.
Okay. I'll say I got too wrapped up with some tinkering and working on some little side projects.
What would you like
The
to do?
hell is it? Wake up! The bloody hell's that? I wake up everyone.
Okay. You all wake up. You're still in the windmill.
Do we get credit for a long rest?
Yes. Sorry, you all get a long rest.
And so for a long rest, you should be able to refresh hit points without using hit dice, right? Because your hit die all.
Yep.
Also,
If you click
right.
long rest, it should just refresh everything automatically.
Where's that at? Oh, I see it. Never mind.
Okay, cool.
I use my senses after waiting to try and get. Oh,
Whoa. What was
alright.
that
I have
roll
no
for?
idea it is. I was just doing a
Oh.
perception.
To try and figure out. Yeah, you don't even hear what he's talking about.
No. What's going on?
I still
there?
have an 8 with a natural 1.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You wake me up and you don't have coffee ready?
Do you not hear that?
At this point, you all can hear some kind of ruckus. It does sound like the shouting of over a dozen or so creatures outside of the drawbridge.
All right. Shall we all exit the windmill?
Hold on. Is there a stairwell or a ladder or anything that goes up for a better view from inside?
I would say there probably would be. So, yeah.
Let's go have a quick peek, and I'll scurry up the ladder or whatever it happens to be.
Okay. And because I don't know a good way to do this, as you go up the ladder, you're able to see over the palisades. I'm just gonna move you so you can actually see it. You see about 20 or so orcs. They're all running, streaming out of the woods, shouting, weapons drawn, and they're running for the village. And you can tell that the drawbridge is up currently, and you imagine that because you guys didn't do it, it was probably the seven snakes that raised the drawbridge. But yeah, they're all running at the village.
Okay,
And-
I'll
Yep, go ahead.
scurry back down and let them know. Okay, it looks like there's about a band of like 20 orcs rushing the village.
Okay.
Good
And
orcs.
with that, I think
It doesn't look like it.
that would
That's
be a
bad.
good place to stop for the night.
Okay.
All right, so we got our next session set up for the 27th. That's the expectation. That'll be next Sunday, and we'll pick up from there. Has anybody got anything? Any last minute items?
I think I'm good.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
All right, man.